despite all these recessions and these challenging times, we have still not learned from those times, from
Right.
those experiences. So
Mhm.
that is where the first point which I wanted to bring was realization in everyone that there is a need for a very strong plan B.
Welcome to Money Talks Unscripted. I'm your host, Pallavi. In this special interview series, we'll try to explore more about the author and what exactly were they thinking while they wrote the book. In our last video, we talked about the book, What's Your Plan B? And I'm happy to be joined by author Avinash Kulkarni. Avinash is not just an author, he is a musician, he's a management professional. Welcome to the show, Avinash.
Thank you, Pallavi. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be on this talk show. Yeah.
Well, it's a Saturday and you seem to be working. So, my first question obviously would be, how do you manage to wear too many hats at the same time with such grace? Because we know you are from a corporate background. So, how do you handle all these things along with a corporate job?
Yeah. That's an interesting one. So, uh, as you are aware, the corporate professionals are also busy. So am I. And being in sales, I get to travel a lot. So I keep traveling across the country since I handle a national portfolio. So that gives me ample amount of time right at the airports while traveling in the flights, and of course when you're there at some location, right? So instead
Right.
of watching TV, I just like to scribble something, work
Mhm.
out on some creative idea and stuff like that. So that's how I manage. And yes, Bombay is again a beautiful city with long distances to travel. So even while I'm in Bombay, I try to manage the time here and see how I can utilize that time.
Right. So, how long have you been in Mumbai or Bombay, as you called it? And also, we want to understand when was the time when you actually thought of writing your first book? Because I've also reviewed your earlier book, which is What We Don't Teach Our Children About Money. So, tell us actually how many books you've written so far and how did you start the journey, the writing journey?
Sure. So I came to Bombay in 2011. It's about 9 years now. And coming to my writing journey, we released the first book in 2015. So that was the book called The Joy of Playing Harmonica. Harmonica
Okay.
is the mouth organ, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
we had started the club in 2008. It's called the Bangalore Harmonica Club,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a growing club with the hobbyists and enthusiasts there, and we somehow felt that there is a need to come up with a book for how to teach beginners with the
Okay.
harmonica, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was the first book which we launched. It was co-authored by me and Sai Tejas Chandrasekhar, a
Okay.
renowned classical singer and harmonica player.
Mm-hmm.
So we released that in the Bangalore Harmonica Festival in 2015. So that's where the first book came in. And after that, the second book which came in is Money Sense for Children. So the title of the book is What We Don't Teach Our Children About Money Sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I also have a daughter. She's 12 years old now. And as a parent, we definitely look at giving all that education, which is more practical, which is more relevant, and
Mm-hmm.
that matters in their life. So, uh, I mean, conceptualizing that idea, I had worked out on this series called Give Them Wings. So, Give Them
Okay.
Wings is a series of 4 books. The first one was the Money Sense book, which has been released.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is Kidopreneur Startup Playbook. So, that is
Okay.
scheduled for launch in December of this year. And the third book is Life Skills for Children, which is a very, very important book I'm looking at. And it's fairly coming out well in terms of the content as also, and also it's an activity based book, so
Okay.
children can keep doing this activity and keep learning. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the third book, and the fourth book is something on investing in stock markets for
Okay.
children.
Okay.
You might be
Children.
surprised at the title and
Yeah.
also why for children, but yeah, so investing is not just about the stock markets. It's about the resources what you have. It's about
Mm-hmm.
your time. It's about your money. It's about your energy is where you put in. So that is something which I comes in that book, which is the fourth one in this series. So this was the book. My third book was Be a Hobbypreneur. So that
Okay.
was my third book, where most of us have innate skills and hobbies, and most of us are quite strong on that. But can we make something out of it in terms of, can you try and make some revenues out of that? Can you monetize
In
that?
fact,
So
I was about to come to that. In your, Plan B book, also the one which I've reviewed, you have emphasized largely on hobby, and you just mentioned that you always emphasize on hobby and stuff. So you even have mentioned about some websites and some other options where people can go and explore whether they have an interest in a particular hobby or they can pick up a hobby. So I want to
right.
understand from you, what is the importance of having a hobby and how can a hobby help us grow in our lives?
See, hobby, I would say, is a very integral part of the life, because if you look at the five or six key elements of life, one is, of course, your family and relationships. Then you look at your finance, your career growth, your entertainment, and also your personal well-being, right? So entertainment, it just doesn't mean about the entertainment part of it. It also means about adding your hobbies and skill sets. And hobby is definite should definitely be an integral part of everyone's life,
Mm-hmm.
because that is something which can keep you calm, which can help you entertain yourself, help you balance yourself. And most important part, hobbies can reveal a lot of things about your personality, and you never know. I mean, you can make your hobby as your mainstream career. So there are different possibilities here. And secondly, I also see that there are many opportunities in the current scenario, where the alternate careers are also being looked at, or what you may call the freelancing
Mm-hmm.
kind of a business. So that is where your hobbies can actually come into play. And if
Okay.
you are good at a certain hobby and you have built out the skill sets in that, so that is something which you should strengthen on and monetize on. So that is how it is. And incidentally, I have been trying quite a few hobbies across music, across different activities,
Mm-hmm.
be it harmonica, or playing the tabla or the djembe. I also am a trained drum circle facilitator. So we run a project called Drumming Happiness. So being in these hobbies has also given me a fantastic set of friends. You build
Mm-hmm.
your network, and you
Yeah.
come across various professionals when you start connecting with the different hobby groups. So that and more importantly, it helps you grow as a person, as an individual. So
Well,
that
in
is
fact,
how
Avinash,
I would say.
I
Yeah.
would, say that I've come across a lot of people who say that we don't have a hobby and we don't have those skills. So if you must have also come across such statements or such people, what would you suggest them if somebody doesn't have a hobby or doesn't have an inclination towards any creative field? How do they inculcate that hobby or that habit in themselves if they were to grow?
See, the first and foremost thing is the intent. You need to build that intent and just go for this. There are very many varied hobbies, I would say. At least I can list out at least 100 different types of hobbies across different categories. So if you are not too keen on anything related to arts or crafts, you can look at something which can be intellectually bounded, something
Okay.
which can be outdoors, something which can be adventurous.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are a lot of DIY hobbies, do-it-yourself hobbies, right? Right from trying the 3D printers, the technology, the robotics. So so there are a lot of things scattered around, and we need to pick up one of those hobbies, what we like and then what we enjoy doing, right? So I would say the first step is to identify that hobby and start searching the net. There are tremendous resources available on hobbies and how to cultivate that. The expanse of internet has been something which has been a boom to each one of us. While we were kids, we literally had to search people, not on the net. We had
Mm-hmm.
to search people and see who were there to support us, guide
Right.
us on different hobbies also.
Mm-hmm.
So the first step, I would say, pick up a hobby. Second, Google it out. There are a lot of resources. There are
Okay.
a lot of hobby clubs where the
Mm-hmm.
members facilitate. For example, there are photography clubs, there are music clubs, harmonica clubs, writing clubs, authors clubs. So there are different types of hobbies available. There are different types of resources available. Just go for that. This is what
So
I
the
would say
first step
to
would be
anybody
to
who's
have
interested.
the intent to, to pursue a hobby, and then there could be opportunities around and there could be ways. So while you're talking about having hobbies and different ways and opportunities where people can find out the resources where they can go and pursue the hobby, uh, one thing that comes to my mind is that especially during the lockdown, there were a lot of hidden talents which came up. People could, explore that they were a good cook or they were a good painter or any such creative fields. They had some inclination. So tell us
Right,
about
right.
your inspiration. Did the lockdown trigger that you want to write this book, or had you been writing on this book, had you been working on this book for a long time? Tell us the story.
Yeah, on this Plan B book, I have been working on this for almost more than a year now, and lockdown incidentally came in very handy. It gave us a lot of time
Hmm.
since we were all at home, and a few of these months the business was not happening. It
Yeah.
gave me also a lot of time, and I could utilize it to the best possible extent. I
Hmm.
completed this book, the Plan B book, and also the Hobbypreneurs book. Apart from that, I have been utilizing the time to train myself on various things.
Hmm.
Took up some courses, so that's what I would say. Yeah, so there is. They say, right, there is something, a blessing in disguise. So
Yeah.
Corona and the lockdown came in as that. So that's
Okay.
how I put it.
So you are one of those few who could, utilize that time in a positive sense. Your book talks about a lot of real life stories where people have bounced back,
Right,
but they're
right.
not strictly related to the lockdown. They are like overall stories that you've stitched into the story in the
Yeah,
book. But I want to understand that a lot of times we create a plan B, we get to the point where we know, okay, this is the alternate career or maybe alternate plan that we have in mind, but they don't know how to execute that plan. So tell us, Avinash,
right.
how do we make sure that our plan B works?
Okay, so if you look at the entire structure of the Plan B book, the way I worked in, uh, the part one, as you're aware, it talks about why job security is a myth. So,
Yeah.
and the part two talks about the real life example. So, these are some real life case studies, and more often than not, we keep coming across people who have been through such incidents where they have been either laid off or they had to call off their jobs because of their health reasons, or there
Mhm.
could be any of the reasons, right? But when it comes to the human nature per se, when things are going good, we actually don't plan for the bad times, right?
Right.
So when the going is good, I mean, everybody feels that it'll all be hunky dory, and they don't plan anything. But
Mhm.
when suddenly the bolt strikes, when there's a bolt from the blue, and suddenly people start breaking down. So, having been a management professional myself and having spent some time in the industry, I have been seeing a lot of people who have faced these incidents
Right.
while they were doing good. But
Mhm.
when insecurity strikes, so there have been incidents where people have lost their jobs, but they mentally break down, right? So
Yeah.
they are not able to hold on to their nerves at that point of time. So the Plan B framework, what I talk in my book, is a set of 8 points,
Mhm.
and the first and the most important point is about how do you prepare your mindset, right?
Okay. Okay.
More important than that, it is realization that one should have a Plan B,
Mhm.
right? uh, if you ask me, I have at least 2 or 3 plans at the
Okay.
background, even though I'm doing very well in my career, right?
Mhm.
But it doesn't, so Plan B is something like a parachute, right? It could be like a lifeboat or life jacket, right?
It's there on the cover also. We can see that
Yes,
parachute
yes,
in
yes.
the cover. Okay.
Yeah. So this is the parachute, right? So
Right.
why do all these these planes or boats have these things? So we need an alternative option to be there at any point of time. So through my book, I have tried to bring in that realization first,
Mhm.
right? Because through the last few years, we have seen quite a few recessions. Despite all these recessions and these challenging times, we have still not learned from those times, from
Right.
those experiences. So that is where the first point which I wanted to bring was realization in everyone that there is a need for a very strong plan B,
Plan.
right?
Okay.
That is one. Now, coming to the execution of it, throughout the Plan B framework, I have given a lot of inputs on the execution of that. For example, finance comes in as a very important element after the mindset, right?
Right.
Uh, because one has to plan for their finances well in advance, and there are certain thumb rules which everyone knows. For example, you need to have at least a 6 months salary kind in the reserves, right? And also you need to have certain cash reserves for staying afloat, right? So despite that, we still keep finding people who are not able to work on these simple plans. And then comes loading ourselves with the debts and the EMIs, right? More often than not, we always want to add in luxuries to our life, and that is where we get onto the trap of the debts and and the loans per se, where I've seen many people who have their EMIs more than 50 to 60% of the salary.
Okay.
Now imagine, you suddenly get laid off and you're not able to cope up with things. And in case there are scenarios like recession and all, where the job opportunities also,
Reduced.
come down at that point of time. So
Right.
that is when you really have to struggle. And that is when you again get into those psychosomatic disorders or psychological disorders like depression, insomnia, anxiety levels increasing, and it again leads to a chain of impacts, not just for you, it will be also for your family and your loved ones. So that is where the plan B comes in as a very critical part of our life. It is not just for the working professional, it is true for the business professionals as well. So that's how I have tried to bring in the importance of the plan B. And as far as execution is concerned, it has to be realized. It has to be realized, and one should take that action from within. It should be a drive from self to take that action. And there are a lot of resources. There are a lot of options. Anybody can make a beautiful plan B and get rid of anxieties of such challenges. So the plan B framework, again, I'm referring to that. So for each of these 8 elements which I have put in, I have also given step-by-step plans. For example, if I'm saying about the finances per se, I'm talking about setting the financial goals, the 50-30-20 rule, and having a budget, emergency funds, and so on and so forth. The insurance, minimizing your debts, and saving early, and also your personal finance and the provident fund. So these are different elements. So there's a lot of information and material available on the net and also in the book. The book gives you a complete direction on how to make your plan B. So I would suggest people to at least go through that, read it, and try to imbibe some of those actions in their personal life. So this is how I would say you should execute on.
Going by the examples of which are there in the book, I just kind of realized that there might be people who may be very skeptical, or maybe they're not very comfortable with having or diving into an alternate kind of a plan, because they feel that they don't have the skills to pursue that. So when it comes to having those skills, what can be done to inculcate that kind of self confidence in oneself? Because when we are trying anything new, it seems always risky and it always seems to be difficult. So how do we work on that part?
Absolutely. Skill set development or building your skill sets is a very, very important element of the plan B. And right from our childhood, we have been listening to the ant and the grasshopper story. Now, what the ant does is, while the going is good, it puts in the food. So adding skill set is something like that only. So when you're doing good in your life, you can keep adding a lot of skill sets to yourself. And whatever job you may be in, whatever domain you may be in, if you're in IT, there are a lot of updations. The new technology is coming up very rapidly. So you need to be aware of what is happening in the market and what the market demands. So be aware, keep adding your skill set. That's the first and primary objective. And education is nothing but investing in self, right? Even as we keep growing, there are a lot of updations happening in the market, a lot of new technologies, a lot of new changes, a lot of new practices coming in. So every domain, for example, being in sales, I also need to keep adding with the new concepts, theories, new practices which are being adopted by the best companies in the world. So I keep doing that, right? And then if it's a IT company or somebody in accounts or somebody in internet related business, so everyone has to have an inclination to keep adding their knowledge base. Unless until we add the knowledge base, we are stagnant.
Right.
We are there. I mean,
And
we are
one
not
shouldn't,
growing.
yes, yes. And one shouldn't wait till the moment, he faces or she faces
Absolutely.
a failure to create a plan B. It has to start early and should start with the intention. Thanks a lot,
Absolutely.
Avinash, for this wonderful session and telling us a lot of things about Plan B. In fact, a lot of misconceptions we had about Plan B. This was a wonderful book. This is available on Amazon. The link will be shared in description. Thanks a lot, Avinash, for your time on a working day.
Thank you, Pallavi. It was a pleasure being with you on this show. Thanks so much.
Thanks everyone for watching, and stay tuned to Money Talks Unscripted for some more book reviews and some interesting interactions.